Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to today's edition of Get Through Show. And today we want to talk about heritage in Africa. We want to talk about the diversity, everything that unites Africa together that we celebrate. We want to talk about it today, and I have beautiful people with different attires today in this edition. See you in a jiffy. Yo, guys, it's Heritage Day today, and you can see on my far right, you can see how Tunji is looking so glamorous.
Yoruba from Nigeria.
Okay. I'm just gonna jump the thick madam, right? I'm gonna jump her, and I'm gonna go to my left-hand side. You can see how the young Mandela is looking, and my humble self. We all in African attire. Now I'm just gonna leave thick madam to do her thing.
Gabalang ndunguzipho Thabatha umntana kwaNdungwane uDiyu Bhejulo Mageza isuka kwaXhosa eZwathe eSibarbatara. Yo, they won the buying dalon. Today we want to talk about heritage in Africa. You all know, and you can see how we all looking very good in our different attires. And here comes Tunji. I want him to go first because he's wearing what we call 1005. Like, you know, those people you do like this. You see,
you can hide your rice.
Okay, guys, let's go. Tunji, just briefly, just tell us what heritage is all about.
Heritage in Africa is beautiful. You know, it's exciting. And you know, it's one of those event and occasion that actually, when you look around, you're so proud to be an African. You know, you want to look at before the old colonization and the people who try to create a border and fence, you know, within us. It's actually beautiful. And then you realize that when you really go down to the roots, you see that in a way, our cultures are kind of, you know, the same. You know, just some few differences there and there are. So, you know, it's a beautiful day, and you know, it's also a beautiful heritage season in South Africa. You know, the Rainbow Nation, and you know, it's just the unity, it's just the love, it's just you can feel it. And you know, I really hope we can see, like, we should be celebrating more of heritage in Africa, you know, in general, because you know, we need to, you know, start understanding ourselves. We need to be thought of our culture. We weren't thought about our culture. We're thought about how Queen Elizabeth was this and that. But we need to go back and, like, you know, these things have to be taught in schools and understand that, you know, the next African president, you know, shout out to people like former President Thabo Mbeki, who they really tried to do the Pan-African thing. You know, I hope maybe, you know, one of these days there can be other people who wants to go through that line, whereby you know this is African continent. I don't need a border. I don't need a border to visit an African country. You know, we don't have to have a barrier. We need to understand what we are brothers. If possible, have the same currency as we see happening in the European side of the world. So, you know, it's just a beautiful day, and you know,
I still believe one day it's gonna happen. You know that. Ori, yo. Young Mandela, Chief Igwe.
Yes, Daddy.
The celebration is nice.
From the tribe. Bro.
Yes, that's the Yoruba language.
Yeah.
Yes, so Heritage Day. I think Heritage Day is very important in the lives of Africa because it makes us to know our diversity in each, you know, people. Each tradition, we have so many rich traditions. But because our culture have not been taught, it takes us away from where we come from. Yeah. A lot of people cannot speak their dialect, cannot write their dialect. They only speak in English, and they thought they've made it in life, which is very bad. But the celebration of Heritage Day, it makes us to go back to understand what our ancestors fought for, what they stand for. Their Ubuntu means like humanity. We respect people. It doesn't matter where culture you are come from. Even if you are a slave in African culture, we reserve a place for you That, like in Yoruba language, they used to say something like "Ba se bi eru la bi omo," meaning the way a rich people were being given birth to, same way the births the slavery people. So it means we are together. And our culture is very, very rich, very, very unique. Is elaborate about where we come from, how they stood for humanity, and honesty, and collaborate with each person. So by doing so, celebrating the Heritage Day, it brings people together. It makes them to understand that your forefathers have done something like this. They were great people. Not the one we are being taught nowadays that our forefathers, they are devil, they are aliens. You can imagine up to today, they are still making their research about how the pyramid in Egypt were being built. So that is like a mystery to them. But for us, we don't appreciate those things. But you should know that our forefather did all these things. They make something happen. If you go to Ethiopia today, the only country in an African continent that have never been colonized, you see a lot of things. And we were even told that the Christianity started in Ethiopia. But a lot of people today will travel to Israel just to go and learn more about Christianity. They forget about the African. We have so many things in Africa that we need to go back to and make our research, or allow history to be taught in school. That will make us to know more about our heritage. It will make us to know where we are coming from. Our people used to say something: if you don't know where you are coming from, you can never know where you are going. Yes. Most of our history have been taught when we were colonized. It's not supposed to be like that. In my research, I was able to understand that my culture, my religion, in my homeland, in my place, which is Yoruba religion, it has been in existence for more than 5,000 years before Christianity came. So you can understand how we were powerful. Even during the colonial, when they were taken abroad to Caribbean, to Brazil, to everything, our culture, our tradition remained the same. Exists. People were still practicing it. And up to today, they never leave. So it is very, very important to teach our children about the Heritage Day.
Guys, you guys have heard. From my side, where I come from, we say, Ndiba ekene moon means I greet you people. Reno, eat. Zwono, like live long. Bieno, say yeah. We have different diversity, like Ori said. Where I'm coming from, we kind of celebrate heritage in terms of maybe New Yam Festival, a masquerade celebrating, ancestors, we celebrate them, we eat, braai, learn languages, talk to each other, visit each families and all that. The old people will tell you stories about what happened back in the days. They will just enlighten you on what you need to know about tradition, about culture, But these days, I don't know. That's why we have to go back. We have to learn. We have to unite together to learn more about Africa. We don't have to have barriers like Tunji said. We just have to learn. If possible, we just have to have one language that all Africans can be able to relate and communicate with. That's what I understand about heritage. And today is a Heritage Day in South Africa, which means a rainbow nation, uniting people, people knowing where they come from, learning different languages, learning where other people come from, how they do things and all that, which is very, 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 very good thing to do. Yeah. And recently, I love the fact that if you go through the social medias, internet, and people are now trying to introduce the cultures that people have forgotten. If you check very well, they're not saying you shouldn't be a Christian, you shouldn't be a Muslim, but you must first understand where you're coming from, what your fathers have been doing to live long, the things they learn from their forefathers, from the great-great-great-great-grandfathers, whatever. But then we just have to put it in practice and know that we're not deviating from culture. We're not deviating from what we learned from our fathers. Because my father always tell me, when you wake up in the morning, you first thank God. Because why? People now put it in the way that whenever you kind of
proclaim your ancestors. You know what you just did.
Yeah.
Back home, sometimes when you do that, they felt like you either doing rituals or something. You get what I mean? But those things are the things our forefathers have been doing to stay long, to live very, very long life and prosperity life. But these days, we don't want to emulate from that. So today we're celebrating heritage, and of course, we have Z here, which you already know. How do you say it? How do you say what you just did?
Xhosa clan name yami
Yeah.
uthi ubhejulu ugongo
So
make
you just so it means you praising your ancestors.
Yeah.
So this is what we need to know how to do, because it's you know, one thing people don't know is that those our ancestors, we felt like they're evil. They're actually there to guide and protect. You know, there's some things they will ask you to go pray to your ancestors.
And
Not like
that
you're worshiping them, but in terms of knowing that
Appreciating
I don't know
their
how I'm gonna put it.
what
You know what I
they've
mean?
done.
Yeah. So I love what Z just did, and of which today, if you guys check in the TV, social medias, you will see different diversity of it. How Zulus, they do their thing and all that. It's very unique. I love that. Z, over to you.
I love Heritage Day, Heritage Month. I love it. And because in the long days, I don't know, before apartheid and all sorts of colonization, we were one. We were one. We were never like Nigeria. We were never like Uganda. We were never like that. Which was, when you talk about Africa, we're talking about the whole Africa. Unity. In a spirit of Ubuntu. We understand.
Always use that slogan.
Yeah, we were, like now we need to teach our kids that we are all the same. We are all the same. We don't have Nigerians. We don't have Xhosas, Zulus, and we are all the same. We share the same. Because in my research, I have searched that we all do the same thing. When it comes to culture, we all do the same thing, because you guys are paid dowry. We call it ilobola. We're also doing that. We're doing the same thing. That shows us we are one people. We are one people. So, and we have like food, different kinds of food that we do have. And when it comes to we have our own unique dress code that we need to teach our kids, because when it comes to these dresses, there are dresses that I'm not allowed to wear. Yes, I am allowed to wear, but you know that this one is for women who are married, and these ones are for women who are not married. Do you understand? If you can say on the culture, in Zulu, I can never go on, what is this called? Kwindawo yentombinto.
Tombinto.
Yes, where the
Do you
virgins.
know what is that?
Where the virgins go,
You don't know.
I'm not allowed to go there because I'm not a virgin.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not allowed there. If I go there knowing that I'm not a virgin, I will have to go to...
Cleanse yourself.
No, not cleanse myself. I will pay them. Pay them cows.
that is
They will
culture.
tell, yeah, that is culture. I need to respect the culture.
And your bolobolas are more expensive than us, just saying.
What do you mean?
Yo, you guys use cows. I'm buying 15 cows. The first one is non-negotiable. Another one is non-negotiable.
Yes,
The
you
rest
have to
10,
buy- you have
the
to
rest
buy a dog
8
for my mom.
is exactly
have
is
to buy- and
negotiable.
then-
And
then
then
you
they
can
come and say
lobola
you don't
me.
finish paying. You can
don't
never
finish
finish paying.
lobola. You never finish lobola.
South African lobola is the best, one of the best events I've attended in my life.
Finish lobola.
You don't finish.
Never finish it.
And then after you spend all your money, and then you see the kids of the house, the singles of the house, the go-go's of the house. Like you see people who are 92. I'm like, what?
That's how we are.
but
That's how we are. Also, I like it when inkwenkwe iphuma elantikeni ehlathini. I like the way we like dance to him, that he came out
Yeah,
like
the dance
healthy
is always
and
my
all
best video.
Yes.
And when they are counting the money.
Yes.
And then
I
you
like it.
And then
And
there's already a secretary.
Intonjane, I don't know how intonjane is in English. Intonjane, whereby a girl needs to go and sleep alone in that klar. What is it? Uronda, whereby she sleeps there. She only comes out only at night.
And you know what I also love about you guys is when some cultures, when the girl comes out and then she needs to identify a man, among
not a girl, a man needs to identify a girl.
Yes, that's what so a man, yeah.
Yeah,
So because
and
we had
you
a
are not
Nigerian,
supposed to
we had
go
a
there.
Nigerian guy, a Yoruba guy. There's this African ready, so he needs to identify the wife. Now see what we did. We cheated. So we realized. So they don't speak Yoruba, so we speak Yoruba. The guys are Yoruba, so they like these girls are beautiful, bro. Yo. So yeah, these girls are beautiful. They're like 7. So now the real bride was on the 5th or 6th. So now watch what we did, Victor. So we told the guy that look. So we first said give your Rolex to your woman. So when you feel your Rolex, you know she's your woman. But now there is this woman who came and like, no way, she can't be wearing anything. Yo! And then now I was thinking so fast. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? So I spoke in my language. I told him that look, when the girl gets to you, I will say Ouni, which means she's the one. So obviously, so for them not to know anything, we use it as a chorus. So we were like, when if it's not, you go like Ounko. It was so fun. So when the girl got there, we were like, Ouni.
It shows that you guys are just chanting.
Yeah, we're just starting. So they thought we were chanting because we were happy.
Yeah,
They didn't know we were giving us spoons.
So guys, if anyone is going for a lobola with a Nigerian, so you must watch this. You must watch this. These guys are very nasty.
There's one I watched on social media. They went to I think when you get to the gate of the family where you want to
you
get
must
married.
pay.
So
You must pay.
yeah, there was something you need to say, right? So I think this guy was not saying
like
it.
knock.
No.
Like it's like knocking.
No, bro. Even the one you watch, these ones are difficult. These beautiful girls, when we got there, when we had the
But
first
are
thing,
they covered? Like
they were not covered though. When we
how
got
come
to,
the guy doesn't get like how come he
you can't see, when we got to Mpumalanga, even by us, we mistakenly park our car in front of the girl's house. Yo! The brother that we know, that is our friend, the way he came out like a lion. Who are you guys? What are you doing? Take your rickety car. Sure, this guy changed. And then when it was time to,
I felt like
that's what it is.
how-
When it was time to go in, these girls just sat down. We didn't know what to say. They were not talking to us. We're not talking to them. These girls, and there was one who was looking down. Apparently, we now realize that we need to spray money until the girl looks up before. So we're just putting money on the floor. Now there's a time they said we're not putting the money down with respect. Yo! My knee. Yo, no, guys. Just crazy.
In Xhosa culture, they it's not a girl that's supposed to go to the gate.
That's why it's different cultures.
It's my brother or my cousin. I'm not supposed. And when you
No, not the girl, not the bride. The girls.
Yeah,
that,
I understand.
girls.
In a Xhosa culture, you're not supposed to do that.
Tunji, I wanted to ask you, in that wedding, do they offer you guys ukumbot? But do you know, guys, do you realize that it's not gone are those days where it's very relevant, like it's very too much out there how we talk about ukumbot or like where we come from. We call it, maybe we use palm wine and all that. I think it's
Like
for me
also
it's,
strong drink.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Shinab.
Like it's not that.
They do the same here too. You first of all put a strong drink forward. Like they can even put it in the list.
Yo, bro, I love African-
guys,
I love African culture.
in all of this, in all of this, guys.
I won't marry you.
Why?
I won't marry you. You're trying to propose now. No.
I don't want to marry you either way. But at the end of the day, guys, you know one thing I like about African culture, right? When it's time to marry, like traditionally, not white wedding, you see different vibes. If you
Yeah.
watch Zulus,
The
different
way they
vibes, concerts,
sing.
different.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, 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 very interesting. Like
I just want people to know this in all honesty, right? I think one of the things that I don't like, and it's also one of the reasons why I understand, and I know we should be careful, and these are sensitive topics in terms of, I know that we were colonized. I know that a lot of people may not know what it is for you to be mental slave. The slave is not done. It's just modern nowadays, whereby travel abroad, go to Europe, you realize that the citizens are really not even working. You see an African person going there, you're working 18 hours, 16 hours, different types of jobs. I know a couple who stays abroad, with all due respect to them. Husband and wife only sees themselves 2 hours on a Sunday. And they have kids.
And all
Now,
week, all through their work.
do I want to raise my child in such country? I want to raise a child. I want to raise a family in a proper way. I don't care. Yeah, husband and wife are only seen on a Sunday 2 hours. So the slavery is not a chain on your neck now anymore. The slavery is mental. And if you don't do this work, obviously we want the money. And this is what they did to us. They make our continent to a rich natural resources continent to mentally look poor. And then we all have that moment of thinking we can make it abroad. It's not what it is. They've migrated us mentally. It's like, if we get into it, we're not going to finish. But this is what I want to say. The Africans that we are woke now and see starts from me and you. In terms of, Ori cannot have kids now. You're forcing them to learn English alone. You're not forcing them also to learn your language. You cannot also have a family where you tell them that, because that's how I grew up. My parent told me to, vernacular is no vernacular in this house. We go to school, they tell us no vernacular in school. They tell us that you need to speak English. That is how I grew up. So you realize that, and a lot of kids we're having also now, check it, go check the statistics. They speak English more. Yeah, they were like, what are you speaking? Exactly, they don't know. So if we are saying, let's cut the crap now. Damage has been done. Yes, they've damaged us. But now, what are we doing now to move forward? Now, where are we starting from? So let's break the walls. Yes, yeah, they did. Oh, yeah. But guys, come on. That's over 60-something years ago now.
And let our kids know about our culture.
Now, exactly. So it starts from us now saying, okay, look, we are here now. What are we going to do? Don't tell your child to go and start learning English. You also need to start teaching them also your language too. Yeah. I mean, you want to be an African indeed. Let's stop blaming the European. Yeah. Let's also start teaching from your house.
Yeah. Amen.
That's one of the things that I stand for, and I always speak about it. Like you can imagine, if I go and pick my kids from school, once we get to our gates, they will be saying, "Tati, atideye, Tati." There's under 2 years. Tati, atidele. It means, Daddy, we are home. Daddy, we are home. So I feel happy seeing them, because in my house I speak my language. That is why I pay in school for them to learn English. But at home, they address me with my language, Yoruba. Because if I don't teach them, you can imagine, by the time they grow up, maybe they don't live in Africa, maybe they decide to go to Western world. They will not be speaking that language. Their children will not be speaking that language. So from my head, my culture, my language is dead. And it's not supposed to be. So I believe in the tradition and I believe in the culture. You are celebrating the culture, the heritage, doesn't mean you are worshiping those things. No, but you are bringing the spirit of the ancestor to come and be with us, that, oh, we recognize the fight, the struggle, and because they did invent so many things. They did invent a lot of things. So I appreciate my people, my forefathers, my ancestors, that I will continue to follow their path.
Yo, Ndibani, una no gonna fight with meanings. You have heard what you all have to say about heritage, and yo, it's very, very, very nice to hear from different people, different cultures, how we do things. And you must teach your kids to remember their ancestors and to know history about the ancient days. Don't forget to click the like button, share, comment, tell a friend, so that we can know how to unite as an African. Ekenekwa Moon means I greet you once again. It's your boy Victor Chibuzo. See you in the next episode. Ndeba ikwezu ono.